Hey guys, it's the History Nerd, and we're back with another exciting episode of Hearts of Iron 4 Fascist America. And where we last left off, we moseyed around doing some things. What we need to do today is use up this political power we have banked with 3 justifications for war. We're going to go conquer Honduras. 25 political power. We got enough. We're going to go Nicaragua. Conquer Nicaragua, 25 political power. Let's do that. And Costa Rica, you're up here too. 25 political power. We can afford to do that. Looks like we're going to be ready for the war on the 12th of November, 1943. And I hope that's the same for all 3. Let's just make sure it is indeedy do. Whoops, that is not what I wanted. Perfect. So, the war plan here, again, let our friends deal with this whole network of nastiness. We will take the 1st Marine Corps and park them right here. Honestly, the 1st Marine Corps should be strong enough to fight the Costa Rican army all by itself. We shouldn't need to worry about getting any reinforcements or indeed getting these guys involved in the fight. We can probably leave the 1st and 2nd Marine Corps alone indefinitely. We're going to leave that. We should check on the civil wars, see how those are going. I think it's going fairly well in Brazil. And Argentina, I'm sure they're having issues, but I'm also sure that they'll sort those issues out sooner than later. You can just keep going, Fascist Brazil. Going to be a nice addition to ELF. Other than that, we're training up our armed forces. Well, 2 more infantry armies, basically. And we got Nashville and, Louisville all set and ready to go. That's lovely. Flexible lines. This is just getting better and better. Let's go for concentrated industry. Get some more factories built up in areas where factories can be built up. And yeah, generally, just let this happen. Let's check. Make sure all of our bombers still have the proper assigned jobs. But while we're waiting, we could probably get these guys 100 more strategic bombers and make this a complete squadron. It's kind of a big squadron, 1,000 aircraft. But maybe a wing? That might be a better way to think about it. Anyway, yeah, we're basically just waiting for things to happen, which is making things easy. Once we get Central America sorted, we'll look at getting Venezuela, Colombia, because I think these 2, well, you know, Colombia definitely belongs to Venezuela. There's no way I'm giving that to somebody else. And then what else? I mean, maybe get Ecuador into Peru and just sort this out so we don't have... I mean, it's not like we've got a ton of countries to deal with here, but we can limit it. We can limit it to friends. And that's going to make ELF all the more stronger, I do believe. I guess we can probably drop those guys in and just get them training right away. And how are we? We're doing just fine on manpower, so what I might do is get some more of those guys going. And let's go over to our infantry armies, please. Thank you very much. And we will go with a new one. What are we up to? 4th? Obviously, this is going to have to be the 5th U.S. Army with a General Ferdinand. Perfect. Are you sure we wish to promote? Oh, no. We're not promoting. We're just assigning. So that was the 5th, and now we've got the 6th. With another general, please. What is your thing? Old Guard, max entrenchment. I mean, no, we'll go with Wainwright instead. Let's get these guys over to a green, so we know they're infantry. Perfect. And then we might as well move these guys somewhere. I'm thinking maybe on closer. Oops. Let's right click. There we go. Maybe closer to what's going on in Canada. Or what could potentially go on in Canada once war gets declared. And let's also get these guys training. I would imagine the 3rd Army is probably done their training. And let's just scope out everyone else. You could use some. You could use some. You could definitely use some. And that should be all right. Excellent. Let's go ahead and keep time ticking away. Free civilian factories. Let's take a look. Maybe some radar up here. Let's check. We could definitely use some radar along the border. So there we go. Get it up to half strength and start peering into what's going on in Canada. We need to know. Iran has joined the Axis because the Soviet Union declared war on them. Soviet Union is definitely taken a different route to strike at the Germans while the Germans push against basically the only border they've got. And, I mean, it's looking successful, but it certainly is taking the German army quite a while to continue to push east. Well, the Soviets are just pouring into Africa now. So that's probably good news for the Allies, especially since we got Germany up in India, which is not a good place for Germany to be, at least not from the Allied perspective. But I digress. This is why we stayed out of the war. Screw dealing with all the stuff that's going on. I don't care about that. We're definitely going to pause this because we've got some new research to jump into, and we might as well go and get the advanced artillery upgrades. But we definitely want to go down and swap that over. We definitely need more than 3. Right? We should. Yes. There we go. That's better. Well, it's not better, but 9,000 makes far more sense. Where's our mechanized? There. We're doing okay with mechanized, actually. That's good. Turkey has capitulated. The Turkish government has gone into exile, and their main forces have capitulated to the Soviet Union, who's now in control of their home area. The struggle between Soviet Union and Turkey was only a small part of the conflict, obviously, and it was over relatively quickly. Let's continue with our research into maintenance, and at least get them up to 1939 levels. Let's also take a look at our armored units, who could probably use a maintenance company. And let's take a look at our motorized units, who could also probably use a maintenance company. That should help things out immensely. We don't have any anti-tank guns yet. We will soon. Yeah, well, we're not even gonna bother producing 1936 anti-tank guns. We'll just roll through the tech tree until we get down to ones we want to actually build, which I think makes more sense. There's really no national focuses we want to touch, so we can just get rid of that. And our political power is slowly accumulating, which is great. Yugoslavia has capitulated to Italy, of all countries. So Italy's certainly going after the whole new Roman Empire, which makes sense. That was kind of Mussolini's deal. And it looks like Yugoslavia has... Is there not a way to sort this better? Or am I blind? Like, aluminum, right? Because that's what this is. Yugoslavia. There it is. Okay, well, we'll just do that. Since they don't seem all that interested in sending us material anymore, fine. We won't bother taking it. We will get the anti-tank upgrades going. which will be very useful. Can we see some of this naval combat? No, sadly we cannot. Boo. Still, I imagine it's the Royal Navy kicking the crap out of the Italian Navy in the Mediterranean. Well, it also looks like France is making a comeback in France itself, which is exciting. You know, probably more to do with Allied armies' help than the French making a comeback. Spain's also taking a beating. They probably should have stayed out of the war. All of this is done training, I would imagine. Let's just pause this while I go through my armies and make sure we're not wasting away manpower that is going to be needed. Although, with 3.9 million people ready and waiting to serve, it doesn't really matter. Naval strike tactics, probably a good idea considering how many aircraft carriers we're rolling with. Speaking of the fleet, our Fletchers are coming along nicely. How are we looking up here? We've got 2 of them done already. Up there. We should have another 2 somewhere over here. Ooh, another 4. Look at that. So we'll be ready to get some more improved escorts with our 2 main battle fleets, which will be nice because then, you know, we can take and flesh out some more of these guys. And of course, there's always going to be fleshing out of the Pacific Squadron, which is looking pretty darn good. We will merge these guys together. And so now we've got the U.S. Navy Group 3, which is just a collection of outdated submarines that I wish I could give to somebody. Anybody. I don't care who. Just let me do something with these ships that I have no use for anymore. Oh, that bugs me. When you add planes and you merge them together, they lose their mission, and that's... It's sad that happens. I mean, maybe sad is not the right word to use there, but it certainly is the word I'm using. Do we really just have the Ranger here? With fighters and naval bombers. I mean, I understand that's the same going on with the Atlantic Fleet. But I guess we do have the research done on the Midway, right? We do. So once those destroyers get done, we might as well start producing those things. And then since the amount of ships, or the amount of planes that those things can carry is so much bigger, again, we'll have aircraft carriers that we're probably looking for a nation to give them to. Finally, for our last military high command, I'm thinking amphibious assault would be best. Just because, considering the nature of the things we do, we're going to be doing a lot of naval landings. Although, just a flat-out infantry attack and defense benefit, it's tough to say no to that. Although, army logistics. What do we got? Tactical bombing, commando. Yeah, let's just go all around army logistics to avoid a little bit of attrition everywhere. That seems potentially like a much better use of that slot that we weren't using in the slightest. So, you know, at least we're getting something out of it now. That's something. These were all level 3 subs? Yeah. The fall of Singapore, the Gibraltar of the East, has been seized by Imperial Japanese forces, despite having been considered an impregnable fortress by its former British owners. Things are not going well for the Allies out west, or out east. Well, it's a globe, it's relative. But yeah, I mean, certainly. Well, so Singapore fell while the Brits are pushing back against the Japanese there. It looks like the French are turning things around. Go Vietnam. Beat back the Japanese. How is this looking? We got some good viewpoints up into really what matters of British Columbia, so that's good. Oh, that's 4. 3, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay. I don't really need anything else up there. Maybe some radar in Alaska actually might be better. Let's just go nuts with the radar in Alaska, because that'll be useful against the Soviets as well. If we ever go that route. That definitely didn't help things out here. That's fine. We'll just go nuts on a whole other production line. Or we'll go nuts on nuclear reactors. Yeah, let's do that instead. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. 4 nukes. 4 nuclear reactors. That should be fairly good. These suckers do take a while to build, though. Thankfully, radar gets constructed fairly quickly. And you guys are working up. Good. I suppose I could send some of these armies down into this sector once we start, you know, fighting the war. Again, that just seems... It seems like a bit of a waste of troops. Well, maybe not. Maybe it would be good to use the Marines. We've got them there. They might as well get the training. They could probably use the train. You guys could actually use some training. The first Marines here, they're looking pretty good, but I mean, you know, we could get them some more combat experience, which might not be a bad idea. I just don't want my enemies or my allies thinking that we're making a play for land when really we're not. This is all going to Mexico. And I've got really no ambitions in South America either, aside from the Galapagos Islands, which, I mean, let's face it, those obviously should be American. They're a Pacific island, and it's probably useful, at the very least, for landing strips. And dockyards. Because if we do check out the Pacific, there are a few places out here where we will have to go out against the Allies. We might even actually want to perhaps start looking at getting some bases of operations out there in case we need it. Like, Hawaii is a great place to fall back to. But it would be a good idea to have some forward operating bases in case we want to do an invasion of Australia or New Zealand. Really, I mean, I would bet you 2 Marine Corps is enough to hit New Zealand. We might do that. We might have to take a look at that. Because make no mistake, sooner than later we will be at war with the Allies. And we will have to be prepared for whatever that means. Looks like Germany's getting a good punch back into the French areas, but Spain is falling pretty quickly. Are you guys staying neutral here? I do wonder. If we can get Portugal on our side, then we've got a great place to land for pushing into Europe. Although, if we get them on our side, they'll just have war declared on them by everybody. Well, that is something to think about, though, isn't it? Granted, it's not really American, is it? Portugal isn't, obviously. It's in Europe, but they could be the honorary Europeans in ALF. I mean, they're staying neutral. Obviously, they don't want to get involved in a European war, but we could help them. I'm sure it would be fine. All right, well, with all the artillery done, we could take a look at doing rocket artillery. I haven't really ever used rocket artillery, and I know you can add them to your trucks, so that might not be a bad idea. Let's see if we can maybe do something I've never done before, because we do have a lot of trucks. And, whoops, nope, that's not going to be it. We don't have a lot of trucks, but we should be using more of these. And to get some trucks with rocket artillery on them, that's not bad. It could be fairly useful. particularly for pushing through the prairies of Canada. Whenever we wind up having to do that, of course. I'm thinking about it. Mentioning Canada, thinking we might want some more garrison troops as well. So let's get on those. 1, 2. Whoops. No. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right? There we go. All right. And what was that? November 12th? I think the big day. Yeah, November 12th. We're getting close. So we'll celebrate Halloween. Do a little trick-or-treating. And then we'll be 12 days away. For that, you're done training? Good. Let's get you on the border. And we'll have you position yourself there. So we can push if we decide we want to. Improved anti-tank gun. We'll just go through the whole line of anti-tank weapons before we toss them in to the production queue and get them added to our infantry. I'm not going to worry about putting anti-tank guns with our trucks or tanks, because, we'll have anti-tank tanks with the tanks, and then maybe with the trucks as well. We'll see. But those aren't going to be cheap to produce. Oh, Costa Rican ideals, yes! We don't like those. What do we got? Aluminum. About time that came up. Who do we want to trade with? I guess we could keep sucking up a little bit to Britain, and we might as well do that. So let's go ahead and do that. Because, yeah, we're getting... Well, but it says we're not getting any from Italy. No possible trade route can be found. Okay, well then we'll end it with Italy. There you go. Sorry, Italy. We're buying from probably the people who caused that in the first place. Well, yeah, because maybe they were getting their aluminum from Africa. Who knows? Who knows? I could look at that, but, it's best to leave that to the wonder and unknown of we don't know, is basically what I'm saying there. Well, it looks like the Mexican army is slowly bouncing back. Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and get our wars declared. Yep. Call allies done. You. Yeah. Call allies done. And you. Call allies done. Perfect. Now, we can invite El Salvador into the faction, and I think that's exactly what we're going to do. It'll save us from having to fight them, and, because, really, they're a tiny nation that doesn't really matter. Now, from an RP perspective, maybe it would be best to give Honduras, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica to El Salvador, and that is something I'm entertaining. We'll see how the war goes, and see which army plays a bigger important part in this thrust into Central America. That was... Oh, and Peru! Yeah, let's get Peru involved here, too. There we go. That'll be nice. But I'm going to leave that for a later episode. Because who knows how long the war is going to be, and I would like to keep wars to... at least small wars like this, to the same episode, if it's at all possible. So... short episode today, but that's okay. We'll have a much longer one next time, I am fairly certain. Thumbs up if you have enjoyed today's episode. Leave your comments, questions, concerns, thoughts, jokes, musings, what have you below. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.